Welcome back to Safa's Unscripted, episode 82, boys. As you can see, Brett's here, Brevan's here, Brevan in a new setting. Probably don't want to get into that. It's just absolute chaos out there in Joburg. That is why we always say Cape Town is so much better. Brevan, do you want to give the people a brief?
So basically, just a brief, quick explanation. I live in a complex where only one road leads to that complex, and that road has completely collapsed. So I'm currently at my parents' house at the moment, and I will be staying here until they fix that road, which is ETA unconfirmed. So
Yeah, because
this is
ANC-led government up there, they don't fix potholes, never mind.
That is why
road.
it's so important to vote on the 29th. Vote for change.
true story. But yeah, I'm just excited that I
Election year
can
starts,
stop.
so that's absolutely massive.
I just want to chat rugby. I'll be honest. I'm so tired of today, so I'm excited to actually
worries.
talk something great.
Obviously, we had the two big tournaments, finals. Sharks, absolutely massive, but there's no other place to start than probably one of the best finals you will see in terms of Leinster versus Toulouse, 31-22 to Toulouse. Once again, Leinster 3 times in a row. This is rugby heritage. I love that word. It is rugby heritage. They've played in the last 4 finals they've been runners up. Now, obviously, credit to them for getting to the final, but you've got to want to win that game. Brett, what do you say about that?
Yeah, you don't. I'm sorry, but you don't win silver. You lose gold. So people need to understand that it's maybe a good achievement to get there, but whether you came second or you came 10th, you're the same WhatsApp group. You still didn't win the trophy. So I do know that some of the Leinster people the excuses are quite ridiculous if you ask me. But I'm very happy with that result. I predicted it. I think if you can remember about maybe 8 weeks ago, I said that this is Toulouse's tournament to lose. See what I did there?
I did the same thing on the last episode.
Yes. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you know what? I also originally, I think it was many weeks ago, I said I think eventual winners will be Toulouse, but I did, unfortunately for myself, I did change my prediction and I said Leinster would win, going into the last prediction video, which is unfortunate. But you know what? I think I'm not going to banter Leinster. I think I would have loved for the Bulls or the Stormers to be there instead, but that they got there. And it was a great game of rugby. I think there was so many standout players from both sides. Obviously, Leinster, I think they just they didn't have enough in the tank going into extra time. But I think they put up Dan Sheehan. I know you guys aren't the biggest fans of him, but he had a great game in my opinion. Joe McCarthy, I thought also was very, very good. Porter as well. He put in a shift and a half. I was very disappointed in James Lowe. I thought he was very hot and cold. Some moments he had great moments, and then he went completely missing. But then talking about, we'll get into Toulouse. I'm not going to ramble on for 5 hours because I know I can tend to do that. So Casual, what was your thoughts, I guess?
I fully agree. And I couldn't believe that James Lowe didn't agree with the yellow card. That was a blatant yellow card. What the hell was he doing? He just slapped the ball away. I mean, seriously.
It was similar to Cheslin's in the World Cup final, very similar. So it's understandable.
There's no attempt to catch that ball. Seriously.
James Lowe played exactly like I've been rating him his whole career. This was a detriment to who James Lowe is, and I'm sorry, but that's never going to change. Some players are good league players, but when it comes to playoffs, they get lost because they think they're bigger than the game. The guy that cheers for a scrum win. I think that James Lowe played exactly how he was supposed to. It's same as Will Jordan in the World Cup final. It's those type of players. People hype them up ridiculously, not knowing that they're actually not that good, and they just prove themselves in finals rugby.
Yeah, obviously, both teams had a couple of absolute standouts. Both teams had a couple of guys that put in absolute horror shifts. But for Toulouse, Antoine Dupont,
Oh my
what a game.
word!
Dude,
I mean,
he looked like a prime six. He had 5 turnovers.
but this is what
5.
I'm saying. I think it was clearly shown who the better scrum half between the two are in that game. I think
Yeah.
Dupont. I mean, obviously Gibson Park made that tackle on Dupont, which was a great tackle. I think it was in the first couple minutes. But then after that, I mean, Dupont
It was the
just, oh
Dupont
my
show.
word.
That 50-22, ridiculous.
But the thing is, like,
but the only thing that irks me, right, is every time Dupont touches the ball, like even just passing it out, I heard the commentators say, that's why he's the best player in the world. And I'm like, sure, he's been the best player in the world, but put some respect on Adi Savia's name. Like, the guy can do probably the most stuff. But, like, why do I have to hear 10 times every game, that's why he's the best player in the world?
Yeah.
I get it. But just call the game. Like, seriously.
Well,
and
I
then
think-
shout out to Jack Willis. Insane.
Oh,
mm,
very good. Best move
well-
of his career was to go to Toulouse. But also, Adi Savia today posted that he would love to play rugby with Antoine Dupont. So
imagine
that-
8. Oh my word!
Oh.
Imagine.
that'll be naughty.
But like the thing that
He's
impressed
actually
me-
just marketed himself there. He's like, okay, I want to do that Jordy Barrett thing just for a little while, like I've been doing in Japan. Get me to
Want that
Toulouse.
French hula.
Yeah, but like the thing that impressed me the most with Dupont, and like obviously did have a lot of good attacking things, but there was a moment in the game where he gave the ball away. I think Dan Sheehan ripped it away, and then Dan Sheehan had like a 60-meter run to the try line. Obviously, then Kinghorn made the tackle, and Dupont ran all the way. Like most people be like, "Oh, I gave the ball away. Like I'll jog back and get there." Dupont like sprinted back, got the turnover. I was like that is, fixing your mistake.
Yeah.
So that's a player you want. But how good was Kinghorn? How
You saw
I
the
thought he
difference
was
when Ramos
insane.
went on. Yeah. You could see the impact that Blair Kinghorn has had. Like, we've rated Tom Ramos as probably the best or one of the best fullbacks in the world. He does not touch that 15 jersey the way that he's playing at the moment and the way that Kinghorn's playing. Like, under the eyeball, Kinghorn never looks like he's going to drop the ball. The impact, his kicking was phenomenal.
And his tackling as well. Oh,
Yeah.
So good.
But that's also a big point that I've actually wanted to raise, because let's say 5-6 weeks ago when I saw Kinghorn got back-to-back starts over Ramos, I thought, is this coach smoking his socks or something? How can you not start Ramos? And this final proved to me why you don't start, why Kinghorn is there. Like, wow.
No,
And
crazy.
you have to give so much credit to Toulouse with the injuries they got early on. Like that Peter Aki has had a sensational tournament, right? At 12 jersey. Went off early, and then the subs that came on early had to play the whole game and the extra time. Like, that is a ridiculous thing. But obviously...
But like the depth of both sides, like you saw who came on for what's his name? The 12?
Peter Aki.
From Toulouse. Yeah, him. It was Chocobares from Argentina. I mean, that's an Argentinian starting, center. Like, and then you still had Ramos, a starting fullback for the French national side coming off the bench. And then also like on the Leinster side, obviously we know they have majority of the Irish side. So like it felt like a test match, so I genuinely thought it was a great final, and it just came down to Toulouse being able to have more in the tank in the end, I think, because you could see Leinster looked a bit flat in that extra time, obviously, and that Richie Arnold red card as well, that also got a bit dodgy not dodgy, it was a red card, but
clear red card.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is like he made it a bit nervous for his team, because like Leinster then scored and it was like a 3-point game, and imagine that drop goal went over from Frawley as well. Like the game could have literally switched the game completely. So it's just a matter of margin. Yeah, so just a matter of margins.
That's the big thing, right? I felt like, oh, sorry, Brett. Yeah.
No, Karen.
No, I was just going to say, I fully agree that Toulouse, it felt like in the extra time, Toulouse just blew Leinster out of the water. Like, it just looked like Leinster's tank is running on very empty. at the moment, while Toulouse just had that second gear. And I'll tell you who's the most happy about the win is the wing that LaBelle, because he could have won that game if he scored the try. He had all the time in the world just to throw it back inside, and they could have actually scored under the post. But he backed himself, like obviously a winger backs himself to finish, but he had the chance of 100% scoring and like 80% scoring, and a great tackle by Jordan Lama, who I thought had a fantastic game.
He did.
But oh my word, if they lost the game after they should have won it there, I don't even know what I would be thinking if I was him.
But I just want to raise a point there on that drop goal. That for me, that is inexcusable. You have no pressure, like nobody chased up, nobody put any pressure on you. You had all the time in the world. You had time to even look up and look down again to see where you're going to plant that ball. And that's a formality. It's right in front. Just kick it through the post. That's inexcusable. 9 times out of 10, I'll do that with my left foot. And this
didn't he try the drop goal twice?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the 79-minute one. The 79 minutes. That's inexcusable. I'm sorry.
There wasn't even any chases really on him. Like no one committed to it.
Yeah.
The commentators actually said it. It's like you almost overthink it. He had too much time. Like it wasn't even in rhythm. Just took it and standing almost still and getting the drop goal away. That one should have been slotted. That was probably the game. Let's go into some of the controversies of the game, because obviously there was a couple if you've been on social media, and there's 2 that stands out. Firstly, people are slandering Matthew Carley.
Right, I thought he had a good game
for that performance, and then secondly, the doctors on keeping Frawley on the field.
Yes.
Brett, I'll come to you with the Frawley one first. Should he have or should he have not stayed on the field?
No, you can't. You cannot. You cannot. If so, in South Africa we've got a thing called box smart. So, and it's extremely strict. And if it's that strict in South African club rugby, I can only imagine what it is on that especially in a final. That I'm sorry, he should have gone off like immediately, non-negotiable. I was very surprised, but that was a tricky one.
Yeah, well, like you said, like it's very strict over here in club rugby, and like if you take any kind of head knock and the referee thinks, listen, that was a bit too much, he has every right to send you off, and you literally cannot complain. So that was a shock, but yeah, also with regards to the ref, like please stop moaning at us if we complain about refs, if that's what you're gonna do as well. Like, I know it's probably just social media fans. Like, obviously, Leinster have a big fan base, and it's just that 1% of social media people that complain. Obviously, I know it's not all Leinster fans. I've seen some praise Toulouse. But I think, who said, you froze for a second. I was like, who said that? Which one of you? My apologies. But I just think he had a good game. I thought he had a really good game. I thought he handled everything. TMO, went to put something through to TMO, the calls he made, I thought they were pretty decent. Like, he gave the red card that needed to be given to Arnold. He gave the yellow that needed to be given to Lowe. So I genuinely think that he had a good game. And that's coming from a neutral. I wasn't emotionally attached to this game at all. I probably would have even preferred Leinster to win in the sense that representing URC, because we'd love to believe we play in the best league in the world. And I still think we do, but like we obviously would have liked a URC team to win the trophy at the end of the day. So that's coming from someone that's neutral. So I think there was no complaints from my side for the ref.
Yeah,
well, because you just said that, now Leinster's probably going to win the URC.
Maybe. I mean, they're going to take it damn serious if they have lost their third. I mean, they're going to take it. They're going to be like, listen, we're really angry. I want to use the pissed off. Well, we're really pissed off, and we want to go and win.
Yeah, it's like Man United winning the FA Cup.
That was a shock as well. Bloody hell.
The thing is, like, there were so many decisions that Carly had to make. I thought obviously as any ref, you pick up on a couple of iffy decisions. Should that have been? Should that not have been? But I think the big decisions he got right. And even if he didn't get them right initially, the TMO was very good. Like I think the communication between the two when it came to that, was it Josh van der Vlier's try? Like the way that they communicated there, whether you agree or not with the decision making, they understood what the decision on field was, and said, you look at that and you just give me that answer, and I respected that. Obviously,
on that quickly, I agree with that specific call, because it was like the TMO said, was the ball over the line? Yes. Well, then you can stick with your on-field decision and award the try. That I like that. It wasn't the TMO dominating his presence or the ref doing it the other way around. It was great communication with each other. They trusted each other's visions at that certain points, and they went with it. That's what I liked about that call.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think it was Carly said the ball's clearly over the line. I just want to know if there was a grounding, right? And obviously, when you see there's a clear thing that can withhold a try, you can say, listen, do you want some extra information, for instance? Then obviously they can have a bit more of a discussion. But the thing was straight. The question was like that. There was no real interference that could have withheld the decision or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? So overall, I thought he had a decent game. Like, I don't agree with people saying he had a bad game. He let some stuff go that I haven't seen in a long time. We saw it a couple of times yesterday with the wrist slaps on the 9 when he's trying to pass the ball. You see a lot of refs playing that because you can't necessarily do it over the ruck. He let that go. So I don't know if they spoke to the captains about that before the game, but he was like, I will not play that.
Slapping the wrist is not illegal as long as you stay on side.
Oh, yeah, you're just not allowed to slap the ball. You can slap the wrist, but you can't slap the ball. And you have to be onside when you do it.
And you have to be onside. I think that all the wrist slapping, I also agree. I saw that. And, they were all legal.
Yeah, fair enough.
And lastly on him, I just think he did so well in not letting such a massive crowd influence his decisions. Like, you see so many refs get really nervous in such big crowds and such, because we saw there were a lot of Toulouse fans, but there were a hell of a lot of Leinster fans. And you could hear when a Leinster call went against them, they got angry, or when a Toulouse call went against them, their fans got angry. So I'm just glad that he was able to stay calm in a situation like that. So massive credit there.
Yeah.
How far is France from London?
Dude, it's like from here to
train, don't they?
You can do a train, but if you want to, I think flight-wise, it's like from Joburg to Cape Town, basically.
Yeah.
And Ireland to London?
Oh, dude, it depends, but very close. Like here to Durban flight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe even less.
They just take the train, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But overall, we'll wrap up on this game. But this was a sensational final. If you looked at that, I would usually you just say the first 10 minutes, you can see this is going to be a great game. This game was from start to finish. The physicality, the big hits was absolutely out of this world. I thought this was an absolutely fantastic final. It would have been interesting if the score stayed level and we went to like a kick out at the end.
Drop out.
Yeah, that would have been insane because I don't even know the rules. Can you use a sound?
No, so what I heard the commentator saying was, if it was level at the end of extra time, they would have gone to who scored more tries in the game before they go to a kick out, I think, or a drop goal, whatever they do. Yeah. So I mean, that's imagine like you can't win the final if you draw because the team scored a try, and you did like.
You can choose your 5 kickers if they're on the bench or not. You can choose your 5 kickers. Because I remember when Munster played against Toulouse, was it Toulouse?
I remember that, yes.
I remember
Dupont
kicking,
that.
Yeah, Dupont kicked, Murray kicked, Patchell.
Ramos.
Was Patchell. Was it Patchell that also kicked?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, he played for Munster. Obviously, Intermark kicked. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting, right? But anyway, that wraps up probably one of the best finals you'll see from a neutral's point of view. It felt like only 2 tries in the game, but it was a scintillating game. It felt like a game that could have easily had 80 points in it. So credit to the defense as well. But now, Sharks.
Oh, this was my
How?
favorite game. Like, obviously, sorry to interrupt, but like, I'm so excited to talk about this game. Because obviously, like that Leinster to lose final was fantastic, but just to see what the Sharks did, I was like, I don't support these Oaks, but damn, man, that was really cool to watch. Like, that
What
was
I was just gonna ask, have you ever seen a more dominant performance in a
no,
final?
that
Because
was mental.
obviously, Gloucester got, what was it, 2 tries at the end to make it look a bit closer or whatever.
And I'll
One
tell
try
you
at the end.
why they got those two
Smashed.
tries. They got those two tries because the Sharks were too focused on putting in massive hits and leaving out the outside open. They were just like, okay, we've won this final. Evan's like, I'm gonna measure up. Who do I want here? Hastings. Okay, I'm coming for you. Did you see that hit at the end from Evan? Like, that is
Yeah.
like, oh, it's so good to watch. But yeah, anyway, as you were saying,
Brett,
Casual.
Brett, how good did it feel to see the South African internationals play like actual internationals for once? Like they knew they are playing for gold and for history. That's when our guys pitch up, when it matters. That's when we pitch up to play. All the South African boys, all the internationals performed out of their socks. Brett.
Yeah, I only watched the game the following day. I went to bed before they kicked off. I couldn't keep my eyes open, so I recorded it like old school, and I watched it the next morning when I woke up. But for me, my favorite thing there was to see Vincent Koch, the way he played that game. Oh my goodness! I think we've found our loose head for the upcoming tours. Between him, I mean, yeah, he can play loose head as well, but he played tight head. But I mean, imagine that front row now in the Springbok lineup with Malherbe on the bench. Wow.
They obliterated
That's
Gloucester.
those scrums. Oh my word!
Gloucester
Like,
couldn't win their own scrum. Like, I mean, seriously, they got absolutely thumped this game. And we're not even trying to say it in a cocky way. That's just what happened. Gloucester.
What's the tight head's name of Gloucester?
I don't know. I can't. Yeah.
He
Ruan
posted
Ackerman
a,
and Zach Mercer. There you go. And Carreras.
And Johnny May.
he tweeted a picture, this tight head prop. He tweeted a picture of a lion eating a shark. And he said, I can't remember what the caption was, but it was literally right before the game. And he got subbed at halftime.
Yeah, it was just tomorrow night or final tomorrow or something like that. But the picture told you the whole story. It's like the lion smashing the shark. But they got ragdolled, literally.
Yeah.
Have you seen the scene from the Avengers where Hulk takes Loki and he whacks him on the ground? Like, that's exactly what just happened on Friday night. No music there, and bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Oh my word! It was so
I did not expect that. I said that the Sharks have been absolutely dismal this whole season. The Springboks haven't fired. It's actually been a shit show. But then I should have actually just taken a second and thought that these are Springbok players playing in a final. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I was
another in the Champions Cup, right? Next season in the Champions Cup. Finishing 13th in the URC, but playing in the Champions Cup. I mean, that's blasphemous to think about.
I mean,
that should not happen. But that first 10 minutes, right? Like the Sharks were on the ropes. They were defending for their life. But as soon as they got away from that 10 minutes without conceding points, you knew. As soon as this switches a bit of momentum, that is the death of Gloucester. That's just kind of what happens in rugby. Like the confidence that the Sharks would have took from that defense. Eben Etzebeth, wow.
It's one of the best club games I've ever seen Eben play in his life. Like he was immense. And look, I don't know if people are going to agree with me if I say this, and you don't have to. It's just my personal opinion. If Eben Etzebeth can be a captain the way he captained the Sharks on that night, he needs to be the Springbok captain. 1000%. If he can lead by example like that, we know he can talk, we know he can motivate. But we've always seen in a box shirt, he might kind of go into shell. We always say this, or however you want to say it. But if he can go out and put performances like that in a Bok jersey as a captain, oh my word! Like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the best club game that Evans played in his life was 2012 Sharks versus Stormers, where he bounced Bismarck, Duplessis, concussed him, the shit out of him, and then later that game bounced his brother again, and then he handed off Keegan Daniel like he was a rag doll. That was Evans' best club game.
Okay, well, one of his best.
We got the point. Okay.
Yeah.
He was sensational, and Vincent Koch, a prop putting in a lovely little 50-22 ball carrying like he's never done before. I've never seen Vincent Koch carry like that. I know he can carry, but not like that. Was it Pepsi Buthelezi with that try? Absolutely.
That's naughty.
He sold that dummy so beautiful. Like the guy committed to the other guy, just left him for dead. If they didn't score there, if he didn't throw the pass and the guy didn't fall for that dummy, would have looked like an absolute idiot. That's worse than the LaBelle one. But anyway, absolutely scintillating. And then even Oxenche carrying the whole time. I forgot to Mapimpi. What a game! Like the guy actually looked like he had a step. I thought he was sensational this game.
Look, everyone from the Sharks just looked like they did their job. Like they knew what was at stake. They knew what they had to do. They knew what their role was within the team. And they just delivered. Like it was one of those games where, and I don't know, this might be unpopular. I don't know. But I think that is the best performance from a South African team throughout the whole season in any game. And yes, it might be because it was in a final, but I've never seen a team more physically dominant. Obviously, the Bulls pride themselves on that, but they were so physical. The defense was on point. Obviously, they leaked 2 tries at the end, but that was literally just, I mean, it's silly things that, I mean, focusing on the midfield rather than out wide. But just a whole all-round performance. Like, if the Sharks perform like that for the whole season, I think we would be looking at the best side in SA if they were performing like that consistently. They'd be better than the Bulls, better than the Stormers, better than the Lions. So we know what the Sharks can do.
Andre Israel's into that as well.
Yeah, and Trevor Nyakani as well. I mean, it's getting scary. It's getting scary.
Ethan Hooker is the real deal.
Yeah, and he played in 13 even, which isn't his original inside centre position. So he did really well there. Yeah.
Brett,
does this game save John Plumtree's job?
Probably. You don't sack a guy.
It probably does. Yeah.
So it's like they got the trophy, but at what cost? Just to be shit next season again. But I think this has saved him now. But they will be a lot more. He'll still have the eyes on him in terms of if I don't perform, he's gone. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they call it on him early next season if he doesn't bring the performances and the results that's needed. So I think this has just given him an extra lifeline, but not a I can have another season like this. Brett, I want to come to you with this question because we spoke about this when Masuku started playing for the Sharks, right? And said he doesn't have enough experience. But this has been game in, game out. How many games has he played now since then? About 20, pushing around about there, of brilliant performances. Sniper with the boot, literally controls the ball like he wants to. I know he's missed one in front of the post, but we'll leave that, okay? Because
Mornay Staines missed one in front of the post, so...
Has he secured his spot for at least that Welsh test at Twickenham, or somehow getting into this box thing? Like, because if I think about it, we can say experience, right? But he's been so good. What can he do more to get into that team?
Thing is, I want to say yes, but and this is, people are not gonna like this, but I'm still not convinced. I'm sorry.
Not even Brevan likes it.
What?
I mean, Brett said people aren't going to like this. And I said Brevan doesn't even like it. Because when you said it, Brevan was just like...
I think at least for that Welsh test, like, surely he gets the call.
What's the point? Tell me what's the point. Say he makes the Welsh test and then nothing else after that.
But realistically, Marnie's not going to play the Welsh test. Handre's not going to play the Welsh test. Goosen's not going to play the Welsh test. you have to go with your best available. And I think at the moment in form, that's Masuku.
Yeah,
Now,
but Andre
look,
will be available because Tigers are done. And
I still don't. Maybe, but I still think. I think he's done enough. Me personally, I mean, like
yeah, I
this is
agree.
a platform for opinion. Brett has his own
Yeah.
opinion. I have my own opinion. Flip. Someone in the comments could think that Alton Yankees is still the best fly-half in the world. Who knows? Like
Yeah.
it happens. People have their opinions.
Brett has the right to his wrong opinion, but continue, Brett.
So
Fortunately, I'm the only fly-half here. I don't know. I just don't. I don't see. Yes, he's playing well and he's getting all the man of the matches and he's kicking well and all that jazz. But just remember, he's still part of a team that ended 13th. He's still got that. I don't know. I can't see it. I don't see how he puts great players away
but
to score great tries.
look, Brett, I see
I'm
your
not.
point of view. Like because if you look at it, we have Mani Lebok, we have Sasha Feinberg, who could become a new 10 for the box. That's another way more young, a lot more to come. We have a lot of people competing for that 10 jersey. So I can see where you think, in the sense that he's 27 now, 28 nearly, or wherever about, he's around that age. And is it worth it to put your faith in him going forward into the next World Cup? Because, like you said, do you just want to hand him one cap because he played well, but he won't fit into your plans after that one game when everyone else comes back? So I get what you're saying, but I think he deserves a spot in the camp or the squad or something. And
Yeah.
if he can continue his form going into next season and the Sharks can maybe get momentum and be a better team, then maybe he has an argument. But
Okay.
personally, I think he's done enough to be in the squad.
Let me ask this then. If he's done enough at 10 to make that Welsh test, then Nohamba has done enough to play in that Welsh test as a number 10. That's exact same argument because Nohamba, the Lions are better. When Nohamba comes on, whether he's at 9 or 10, the Lions do better. He's more attacking. He's confident. He also kicks well. What's the difference? Why would we say Nohamba can't go, but Masuku can? Because
I think
Masuku won in a final.
I
What's the
think
difference?
Masuku just suits the mold better than a Nohamba in the sense that Masuku, he plays. Look, he's not as physical as a Andre Pollard, but I think he reminds me of a Andre Pollard in the sense that. And look, this is coming from a forward, so I might be talking absolute nonsense here, but he reminds me of a Andre Pollard where he controls the game very well. I think he controlled that back line very well against Gloucester, and we've seen it many times throughout the season. Nohamba, yes, I think Nohamba has a lot more attacking flair. I do agree on that. I think Nohamba, in the sense that he makes a big difference in a game. But like I said, I'll always see Nohamba as a 9. Like I
Yeah.
get the shot
I
at
wouldn't
10.
mind seeing the combination of Nohamba and Masuku as the 9 and 10 in that Welsh test if we don't have any other players available. Like, I think that could be interesting.
Yeah,
That's probably a good shout, but why are we handing out test matches to people that are going to play one test match and never again? That's my issue with that Welsh test. It's there. A guy like Cheslin Colby and a Kobus Reinach, that can be your 9-10 combo. Colby has played 10 already. He's trained at 10 for the box. He's also been in the World Cup. He was prepared to play 9 in a quarterfinal of a World Cup. So in a final of a World Cup. So
I fully agree with you, Brett. In terms of, so you want to see the boys that are there on a regular basis that are trained in other positions, just give them game time in that other position.
Yes.
For instance, like a Faf at 10, for example.
For example, yes.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Anyway.
Stuff like that I don't like. I've never been a fan. Like, the worst thing for me was back in the day when Meyer Bosman got a Springbok call up and he played 10 because he had a good Currie Cup final. Played 5 tests, never again. We handed out jerseys like it's willy-nilly, and it was the worst era of Springbok rugby ever. And now to give a jersey to a Nohamba or a Masuku or a flipping Krappie from the Lions, those things. Those guys are good enough. I get it, but that's just that Springbok jersey is everything. Like, I'm not saying
But
they're
just
not good enough to wear that jersey. I'm just saying what we have is fine.
okay. So then, just a question. Do you think that there are better tens for the Springboks at the moment than Masuku? Like, just in general, like going forward, like in the future. Not doesn't even have to be this year. Do you see other tens that the box should go for instead of Masuku?
Sasha.
Yes, I see Sasha Feinberg and Goma Zulu to be the future of South African rugby. He's a big boy. He's fast. He can kick with both feet. He has massive skills. But if anything, there's still Damien Willemse that I think can play 10 better than Masuku can. I feel like even a Willie Leroux can play 10 better than Masuku can. That's
Sure.
my thought process, because I what I'm moving on.
Okay,
Carry on.
we'll wrap it up here because we're going off topic. We were talking about the finals. This is an interesting discussion for another episode. Revan, Brett, thank you for joining us as always. We will see you guys next time for episode 83. It's been a wild ride. Please remember to like and subscribe. I forgot to say that at the start. But we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Bye.